Hello, I'm going to be commentating over a standard West Collector Leech Defender round. I've wanted to make this video for a while. So here in Wave 1, there isn't anything special. I tend to use Northwest food, and I like to do Foster's East-East fix. It's just, you can have a little bit of fun here. The runners just need to die before 30. Here I'm actually not sure I'm going to reach the style, so I bump it from a little bit farther down, but it doesn't matter, it's south, so I'm just sitting here like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go drop food here, just because, why not, you know? It'll still eat that before 30. It's just a little bit of fun. Round gets forced. In wave 2, you want to use northwest food and west recover all the time. If you don't do that, you'll end up with late runner spawns, and also you'll save a tick if you use northwest food for the last runner. Here, I just drop the 12 healer, block this runner. You don't have to block this runner, it's not necessary. But then I like to hide from fire aggro. You can actually move at 0.4 here, because it'll check for your position at 0.4 and not 24 or like 0.0 or whatever. Block it, it's east, so we call it. Call and repair, which you don't really have to do for wave 2, but it's nice to do that on wave 3. And then it dies 40.2. Not forced, unfortunately, but then wave 3. I do Foster's EC's fix, which is something I do in wave 1. It's the same thing, but here I have to be ready to go to west trap here in case it's west-east, but in this case it's not. So I just bump the first runner, and then I bump the second runner a little bit closer so I can grab logs and be a bit farther east. And then here I should have blocked the runner for 2 ticks. I didn't, but it goes east, so it doesn't matter. If it went west, it would have been too far away from this food. And then I do like a variation of Boz's Stylish Wave 3, which splits the runner line of sight. So here the 24-second targets the west food and the 30-second targets the northwest food, so they don't crash or like soft crash or anything. Wave 4, it's the same thing, northwest food. I'll be using Tasso's self-block tiles here. So drop 4 northwest. I tried to drop 3, but I dropped 2 here. And so I drop the healer and then go back here. And I'm just watching the first 200 perms. In this case, it's south-south, so you just drop a food here. I move a little bit early here, but you'd normally stay there until healer has finished the 18. And then you block and path the trap. You want to path east first, and then to the northwest trap, just so you guarantee pull the healer. And then it's west last, multi at 36. Wave's not too complicated. Wave 5, I do something a bit non-standard. It's by Azure, and it's an auto multi setup, so you can actually bring the 36 healer down if it's a bad YOLO. And it actually does end up being a bad YOLO this wave. So for this strat, you drop 1 north, 1 northwest. I'm going to split the runners here. 1 tick MS drop here. Drop 3. Instantly go west. And then at 18.6, if you drop, the south-south runner will target. And there's like a few different fixes you need to do depending on the perm. Here I actually could have done some micro. I could have blocked that healer. So what you see me doing is setting up the auto multi, blocking the last runner, and then I can lure this down. So yeah, I could have probably done some micro there to improve healer quality of life and increase the odds, but I make sure to split the dead RP and this one, and then it ends up being a 51N. That's not forced because he called 54. Since I assumed you'd think it'd be at wall and he'd lose like a ton of ticks to getting to it. Thanks to that strat, I was able to bring it down though, which is nice. On wave 6, I do west-southwest fix, which first you pre-drop 3 north as you're doing your 6-second lure, and then you drop northwest food. And then you want a path in this specific way, you'll see coming up, to drop the 6-second and 18-second next to each other. And in this case, I have to book it instantly to the west recover tile, and I move it specifically 19.8 to make sure I bump the runner. And this will also block any 18-second west, which in this case, there's no 18-second west. And I also do a little thing to keep 36 spawns on the wall. So here I'll be at the wall for a lot longer. And I just, in this case, I see there's no 36 spawns, so I just repair the trap. Go back, and then I'll put the 42 wall, and then step out whenever the healer can block it. And then standard multi at 54. Nothing too special. You just split the 42-48. So Collector Lure is standard on wave 7, so I'll be doing Midwest Start. And Midwest Start's really OP. It gives a lot of runner control, so in this case, it's really nice because it means you can always have runners where you want them. I'll be doing Blah 7, which is a strat for 69. It's basically the best way to relure everything and still get a combat reset. The idea is you offset a runner. Here, he actually messes up and poisons a bit early, so I try to block it, but I kind of fumble. So I'm just here a bit early, and then at 25.8, they'll target this food to trap, so I drop East food, call and repair, and then you drop, so there's 5, and then you drop a bad food here, step off at 37.8, that'll blah offset the runner, and that runner will die later and give a combat reset. And then the rest of the food is 1 bad, 1 good. So a runner's gonna blah on this, and you drop a food then. And the rest will target that food. As soon as you see that runner moving, you pick up. And then the runners will eat that. You can see the blood runner is right there next to me, a little bit closer, and then the rest are a little bit north. It's a bit unfortunate here. The healer messed up and poisoned 54 early, and then it relured to a runner, and the attacker was caping a bad spot. So it just ended up going on the attacker there, but that strat's pretty OP. Assuming the healer would have blocked the 54 at the wall, it would have never reloaded and it would have just stayed on the runners, and he could have put all the food he needed into it. On wave 8, I do B5, 8 start, and then I'll transpose into doing solar 8. So for the pre-drop, you drop 3 north, and then you want to drop good trail, and you want to drop specifically hanky main stack. Try to drop 4 food here. I missed the 4th food. But anyways, you want to path in a very specific way to loop the 6-second here, and you drop a food as you're pathing. And if a runner's going to eat a trap before 25.2, you can drop a food at cubby. As 24 lured to me, it'd be at the wall, corner trap. It didn't, and I'm just looking around, just letting the healers tag me. And when the runners move at 37.8, you can drop a food here. I tend to move a tick later, because if you move earlier at 37.8 exactly, you will block the runners from eating. You might notice I also dropped a bad and a good. That's just because this is a trail. The tofu here is a trail, and then I set the auto multi and drop 5. And then I go wall. I'm pretty sure this is an RP, so I end up keeping it. I thought it was a 30 actually, and then you can leave it 53.4 earliest in order to keep render if you want to like full run, or you have to like delay a bit. But if you leave wall 53.4, you'll never like not render the runners, so it's the safest thing to do. And then as I'm running down, I'm like thinking about how I want to split the healers. I decided to be a bit lazy here and play it safe and just split them on the stalagmites. You can split north of the healer, but I didn't trust the healer, so I just split it like in the most basic way. And that loses a few ticks for the healer, but I figured there's going to be 81 regardless with the extra RP. And then wave 9, I see the collectors running up, so I'm going to do blue 9. And this is like an SBA, it's like the 12 loop, like below cannon. And this is so it'll be around 33. I don't get the 12 on me in this case, but doing the strat, you're going to pull the fighter and ranger stack. But usually you see their V-bowing, usually you'll have enough DPS west side where it won't matter. And then drop a food here. The runners will retarget to it, no matter what, and then you can pick it up. And here the collector messes up, they grab the blue way too late, you see, and they just can't shoot in time. So yeah, I'm watching this as I'm doing all my setup. I saw they grabbed the blue, so I did the regular setup. I actually like to revert to Salsa 9 if it's specifically no blue, but in this case it's just bad blue, so I've already started. So I just revert to Boz 9, just so I can maybe get some nicer reelers, like nicer splits. In this case, everything reelers to the attacker. And I could have maybe split this a bit differently. I decided to split the 72 spawn east of cannon, but maybe I could have put it north and it would have been better. But I wasn't sure it was going to get eggs either, so I just decided. And I actually bumped this so it goes east as well, which is interesting. I was just planning to like leave it east and then have the other one in the corner, but in this case I'm just waiting for the healer to block so they don't have to deal with any right clicks. And then ends 93, a little bit of an overcape. And wave 10, I like to do update it to our 10 with the lure for 75 potential. In this case, I know this healer does 1x, so it actually won't matter as much, but the lure doesn't hurt, and you can always do it regardless, so it's pretty nice. The first one is south. I end up dropping early here, which won't matter because of it's south. If it was east or west, you'd want to drop later, though. And then I just set up normal Tor 10 drops. At 25.8, you drop here, and then they'll go back and forth. They'll hard crash at 43.8, one will, to avoid flicker. And that's one like minor optimization. Here, you have to block 36 runner if it's a 42 spawn, but in this case, since it's 1x, it's 36 spawns, have to do that. I just am watching to see if it relures to me. I like to drop it north since the healer might have to put a lot of food on it, but then when it relures, I like to leave it at crater. And then here I move a bit early. You're supposed to move 51.0, and then I'm watching and I see it relures to me, so I break standard procedure and I just drop the 36 in order to not have it stack. And then at 61.2, you call and move to the cannon. And then, unfortunately, the ready gets shot here. I'm waiting for the main to cape. The collector shoots. But as you can see, the 48 got lured like as early as possible. And then it's still going to be 78 even without too many eggs, which is nice. And then we're going to block the queen from the north side for the egg pass. Just in case the queen would wander north on the first tick, it would spawn the eggs offset by 1 north. So by standing north, it lowers the odds of that. And then as soon as the egg spawns, we can move. If it doesn't get forced, you can just stay there, and then it won't like wander north, which is nice. And then I do like a half flick here in case I have PID. I notice I don't have PID, so I just wait for the egg dip, and then I give it to the collector. And then we just shoot. And since the main is booking, it should just get forced even if I overshoot here, so it doesn't matter too much.